If you had put $10,000 into the S&P 500 in the year 2000, right before the dot-com crash, one of the worst moments in stock market history, you'd have over $70,000 today, even with two massive crashes in between. And here's the wild part. You didn't have to do anything. No stock picking, no research, no watching charts. Just put it in and leave it. That's what the S&P 500 does. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly what it is, why it works, and how to start investing in it, even if you only have $50. Welcome to Wealth from Zero. Let's get into it. Okay, so first, what actually is it? S&P stands for Standard & Poor's, which is just the name of the company that created it. The 500 is the number of companies it tracks. Simple enough, right? But here's the better way to think about it. The S&P 500 is basically a snapshot of the American economy. It tracks the 500 largest publicly traded companies in the US. We're talking Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Nvidia, JP Morgan, Berkshire Hathaway. These aren't random companies. To get into the S&P 500, a company has to meet strict criteria: market cap of at least $20 billion, profitable for 4 consecutive quarters, and actively traded on the NYSE or NASDAQ. So when people say the market went up today, they're usually talking about the S&P 500. It is the market, or at least the best version of it. Here's where most explanations lose people. Stay with me. You can't invest directly in the S&P 500. It's just an index, a list. What you invest in is a fund that tracks it. Think of it like this. The S&P 500 is the recipe. An ETF, exchange-traded fund, is the actual dish. The most popular ones are VOO, that's Vanguard's S&P 500 ETF, SPY, the oldest one, launched in 1993, and FXAIX, Fidelity's version, with zero minimum investment. When you buy one share of VOO, you're instantly invested in all 500 companies at once. One click. Done. And honestly, that's it. That's the whole mechanism. It sounds almost too simple, but that simplicity is exactly why it works so well. The index rebalances automatically. If a company gets too small, it gets replaced. If a new giant rises, it gets added. You don't have to do anything. The index does the work. Alright, let's talk about performance. And I want to use real numbers here, not vague promises. The S&P 500 has averaged roughly 10% per year over the last 100 years. Now, before you say, but what about crashes? Let's go through the biggest ones. The Great Depression, 1929. The market dropped 89%. It recovered. Black Monday, 1987. The market fell 22% in a single day. Still the biggest single-day drop in history. It recovered. The dot-com crash, 2000. Tech stocks were obliterated. The S&P fell 49% over 2 years. It recovered. The financial crisis, 2008. The entire system almost collapsed. The market dropped 57%. It recovered. COVID-19, 2020. The fastest 30% drop in history, recovered in less than 6 months. Here's what nobody tells you about these crashes. Every single time, the people who panicked and sold locked in their losses. The people who stayed invested got all of it back, plus more. Quick math. $1,000 invested in the S&P 500 in 1994. 30 years later, around $20,000, without touching it once. That's the power of compound interest combined with time. And it doesn't require you to be smart. It just requires you to be patient. Here's the part that genuinely surprised me when I first learned it. Professional fund managers, people with MBAs, Bloomberg terminals, research teams, 80-hour work weeks, over 90% of them failed to beat the S&P 500 over a 20-year period. Let that sit for a second. The people whose entire job is to beat the market can't beat the market. And the reason is actually logical. When you try to pick individual winners, you need to be right consistently, over years and decades. One bad year can wipe out 5 good ones. The S&P 500 doesn't try to win. It just owns everything. And when you own everything, the winners carry the losers. Amazon's growth offsets whatever random company had a bad quarter. Warren Buffett, arguably the greatest investor alive, has said publicly that when he dies, he wants most of his money put into an S&P 500 index fund for his family, not individual stocks. An index fund. If that's his recommendation for his own family, it's probably worth paying attention to. All right, practical time. Here's exactly how to start investing in the S&P 500 with whatever you have right now. Step 1. Open a brokerage account. Best options for beginners. Fidelity, 0 minimums, 0 fees. Great app. Charles Schwab, same deal, very beginner-friendly. Vanguard, the original home of index investing. If you're in the US and want tax advantages, open a Roth IRA first. Your money grows completely tax-free. Under 50? This is your first move. Step 2. Buy your fund. My top pick, VOO or FXAIX. VOO has an expense ratio of 0.03%. That's 30 cents per year for every $1,000 you invest. Basically free. FXAIX has 0 minimum investment. You can start with literally $1. Step 3. Automate it. Set up a recurring monthly transfer, even $50. Every month, same day, it goes in automatically. You stop thinking about it. It just builds. That's dollar cost averaging. Over time, it removes emotion from investing completely. And that's actually the hardest part for most people. Don't wait for the right moment to invest. There is no right moment. The right moment was yesterday. The second best moment is today. So, bottom line, the S&P 500 is the 500 largest companies in America, wrapped into one single investment. It's averaged 10% per year for 100 years. It's survived every crash, every crisis, every recession. It outperforms 90% of professional investors. And you can start with $1. There's a reason this is the #1 recommendation for beginner investors everywhere. Because it works. Quietly, consistently, without you having to do much. If this video helped you understand what the S&P 500 actually is, hit the like button. It helps more people find this channel, which means more free content for everyone. And subscribe to Wealth from Zero. Every week I break down exactly how money and investing work. No finance degree, no complicated jargon, just the stuff that actually matters. See you in the next one.